Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Will Shafroth, President and CEO of the National Park Foundation, and I'm honored to be here today for the NPS Service Awards and to recognize today's honorees and the spirit of service to our national parks that they embody. This year, we're celebrating your achievements on behalf of national parks virtually instead of gathering in person at the Department of the Interior. And while things look a little differently, volunteerism remains firmly rooted in the ethos of the national park community. The examples set by Park Service staff and volunteers underscore a rich tradition of service, and they're a bridge to the future, connecting more people to parks and stewardship of these national treasures. The awards presented today honor the very best, our best, the George and Helen Hartzog Award for outstanding volunteer service, recognizing the time, talent, innovation, and contributions made by volunteers to national parks. And the Wes Henry Award for Wilderness Stewardship for outstanding contribution to wilderness stewardship in our national parks. The National Park Foundation is grateful for the contributions of award winners past and present, and for our close partnership with the National Park Service. For more than a half century, the National Park Foundation has raised funds for programs and projects that protect remarkable landscapes and wilderness, historical sites, and places of cultural significance. We also work closely with NPS to ensure that national parks provide a best-in-class visitor experience. Together with the National Park Service, the Foundation works to ensure that all people are able to discover their own personal connection to national parks. The contributions made on a daily basis by National Park Service staff and volunteers truly bring that connection to life. Whether restoring and protecting natural landscapes and wildlife, leading in-park educational programs, providing service at visitor centers, or maintaining trails, you all are second to none in delivering visitors exceptional park experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. I would like to recognize Will and all of our colleagues at the National Park Foundation for their dedicated service to our national park system and commitment to inspiring all people to connect with and protect America's national parks. We are grateful to have you as our partner for this ceremony, as well as on the Find Your Park Encuentra tu Parque campaign, which inspires people of all backgrounds from across the country to discover, experience, and support the National Park Service. All of the individuals and groups being recognized today eagerly share unique talents and skills that enhance park operations and provide safe and memorable park experiences for visitors from around the world. We will start with honoring the recipients of the Wes Henry National Wilderness Stewardship Awards. Wes Henry was the National Park Service Wilderness Program Manager. He dedicated his life to wildlands, and this award recognizes outstanding contributions that carry on his incredible legacy. The first award is the Wes Henry National Wilderness Stewardship Individual Award, which goes to Patrick Gregerson, Chief of Planning for the Washington Office Planning and Park Special Studies Division. For more than a decade, Patrick has supported wilderness planning as an integral part of the National Park Service Park Planning Program. In cooperation with the Wilderness Stewardship Division, Patrick established the interdisciplinary National Park Service Wilderness Character Integration Team in 2010. This team provides leadership and a new approach for integrating and using wilderness character in park planning, management, and monitoring. Patrick has implemented team guidelines for planning documents, provided NPS park planning funding for wilderness stewardship plans, and secured subject matter experts to conduct and sponsor wilderness character workshops in preparation for foundation document workshops for parks and designated wilderness. Patrick's long-term perspective and insight have been invaluable to NPS wilderness stewardship and interdisciplinary collaboration. Thank you, Patrick. We're truly grateful for your service.
Good afternoon. I'm Patrick Gregerson, Chief of Planning for the National Park Service, and I'm the proud recipient of the Wes Henry Excellence in Wilderness Award for this year. And I've been in wilderness, at least wilderness with the National Park Service since 2008. I joined the National Wilderness Leadership Council back then and really got to meet some wonderful people. It's made up of a diverse group of folks, superintendents, regional staff, park wilderness guides, facilities folks, and regional folks. And one of the things that I learned from that is that planning wasn't a big part of wilderness yet, and we needed to do something about that. So what we did was we put together a group of 20 diverse individuals working together as a wilderness character integration team, coming up with the tools that we felt was necessary for the parks and the planning program to develop good wilderness stewardship plans. We did this by creating two documents. One was Wilderness Stewardship Plan Handbook, planning to preserve wilderness character, and the other was Keeping It Wild in the National Park Service, a user guide for integrating wilderness character into park planning, management, and monitoring. These documents were excellent tools that the parks needed, as well as the planning program, so that we could develop these wilderness stewardship plans that were really important to the parks, and looking out towards the future of how we're going to be able to manage those wilderness areas. These plans or these documents can be found in two locations. You can go to the National Park Service policy webpage and find reference manual 41, and you'll find these documents there. Or you can go to wilderness.net and then click on their toolbox, and you'll find that these documents there as well. Again, thank you very much for considering me as a recipient of the Wes Henry Excellent Wilderness Award.
The next award is the Wes Henry National Wilderness Stewardship Group Award, which goes to Region 6, 7, 8 Wilderness Executive Committee. The committee serves as a link and catalyst for cooperative insight and wilderness advocacy among the regional directorate, regional employees and park partners, other federal land management agencies, and the National NPS Wilderness Stewardship Program, including the National Wilderness Leadership Council. They work collaboratively to achieve the NPS mission related to ecology, wilderness stewardship, wilderness character, and management objectives. Their engagement and dedication has had a positive stewardship effect on more than 7.5 million acres managed as wilderness in the region's 29 park units. To the entire team, we are truly grateful for your service.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Niosi, and I'm the Wilderness Coordinator for the National Park Service's Regional Office in Lakewood, Colorado. In my role, I have the pleasure of serving as a fixed member on the region's Wilderness Executive Committee, which supports wilderness stewardship and park units from Texas to Montana. Joining me today is Carrie Nelson, the current chair of the committee.
Hello, everyone. I serve as the chairperson for the Wilderness Executive Committee. I also serve as the Wilderness and Backcountry Coordinator for the Southeast Utah group of parks, which includes Arches and Canyonlands National Parks, Hovenweep and Natural Bridges National Monuments.
Taking our lead from our regional director, the Wilderness Executive Committee seeks to foster a passion for the understanding, protection, and appreciation of wilderness values among all staff throughout the region. Committee members themselves volunteer their time to help achieve the committee's goals for relevancy, training, connection, cooperation, and communication related to preserving wilderness character.
Over the years, the Wilderness Executive Committee has been composed of the region's top wilderness leaders who have upheld the goals and mission of the committee. Myself and the committee's current members are extremely honored to receive the Wes Henry Award on behalf of all current and former committee members and the excellent work they have accomplished. We would like to thank the National Wilderness Leadership Council, the Wilderness Stewardship Division, and the Director's Office for this award.
The next award is the Wes Henry National Wilderness Stewardship Non-Government Partner Award, which goes to the Sierra Institute's Wilderness Fuels Module at Lassen Volcanic National Park. The Sierra Institute is a California-based nonprofit organization that promotes healthy and sustainable forests and watersheds by investing in the well-being of rural communities and strengthening their participation in natural resource decision-making and programs. The Institute collaborated with Lassen Volcanic National Park on fire-related fuels management projects and staffed an 8-person wilderness fuels module as part of the park's effort to restore a low to moderate severity fire regime to the wilderness headwaters of the North Fork of the Feather River. The module underwent training to develop crosscut saw skills and gained an understanding of how skilled crosscut saw use can contribute to wilderness management and the preservation of wilderness character. Over the 2019 season, the crew prepared the 6.7-mile flat iron unit perimeter using only traditional non-motorized tools. This project addressed the accumulation of forest fuels due to long-term historic fire suppression. The reduction of hazardous forest fuels will increase ecological resiliency and provide a safer place for fire management responses. The work of the Wilderness Fuels Module will allow fire's natural role in the ecological process for the first time in over 100 years. To the entire team, thank you for your service.
So the work that we're doing out here is a wilderness fuels reduction. The way that this project is unique is that because we're in a wilderness area, we're not allowed to use any mechanized equipment. We are using crosscut saws, a traditional tool in felling trees. Goal is to clear our unit and prepare it for a prescribed burn in the future within a couple years.
I'm Steve Buckley. I'm the ecologist and botanist at Lassen Volcanic National Park, and it is my pleasure to present on behalf of the National Park Service the 2019 Wes Henry Excellence in Wilderness Stewardship Award to the Sierra Institute for Community and Environment.
Steve, thank you very much. I accept this on behalf of the Sierra Institute for Community and Environment, but I accept it really on an outstanding partnership that we have with you, the Lassen Volcanic National Park, along with the Sierra Nevada Conservancy, which has funded this work. It truly is an outstanding partnership, but we all know that this work doesn't happen and this award doesn't happen at all without an outstanding field crew led by Martha Machash. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Former Director of the National Park Service, George Hartzog, created the Volunteers in Parks, or VIP program, in 1970 with 300 volunteers. He felt that when a volunteer agrees to share their talents, skills, and interests with the National Park Service, they are paying us one of the highest compliments possible by offering a most valued possession, their time. This year, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the VIP program and salute the nearly 5 million people of all ages, backgrounds, and skills who have worked alongside NPS staff through the years to enhance park operations and the visitor experience. In 2019, more than 280,000 volunteers collectively contributed about 6.4 million hours of volunteer service at our national parks. We are extremely grateful to each and every volunteer. Their contributions are truly inspirational and provide a great service to our nation.
Thank you to the National Park Service volunteers. Whether it's sharing stitches and stories, or bringing history to life, or teaching trade skills, or instructing the addle-addle. One of the most valuable resources at our nation's national parks is our volunteers' time. They are experts in fission.
Add in the first neutron.
They staff the live cams at Yellowstone. They are explorers, stewards of the land, and citizen scientists. They share art in New Bedford, at Herbert Hoover, and in the Everglades. They are first-timers, underwater divers, information providers, fossil finders. They get the best seat in the house and tell tales on the rails. They are you and me, thousands of us, just sharing a little time and making a big difference. Volunteer at a national park site near you.
Today, we are pleased to recognize the recipients of the George and Helen Hartzog Awards for outstanding volunteer service. The recipients of the Hartzog Award for outstanding volunteer service by an individual is Mike Snellinger from Cuyahoga Valley National Park. In 3 years, Mike has contributed over 700 hours to the park. What cannot be measured is the wealth of knowledge and abundance of passion he brought with him. In 2017, Mike started volunteering with the Trailblazers, a volunteer group that engages with visitors on the trails to ensure they have a safe and enjoyable visit. Mike currently serves as a lead volunteer for that program. In 2018, Mike was influential in providing guidance and expertise in launching the first ever Cuyahoga Valley Volunteer River Patrol, a program to support visitors using the river. Mike's work improved the preventative search and rescue efforts in the park, increased the park's ability to meet the needs of water trail partners, and was key to achieving the designation of the water trail. Since then, Mike's paddling knowledge and skill, as well as his organization and willingness to take on a leadership role, have helped to expand the River Patrol program. Mike's dedication and enthusiasm have left indelible marks on the volunteer program in Cuyahoga Valley, and surely will continue to inspire others to do the same. Thank you, Mike. We are truly grateful for your committed service.
Hi, my name is Mike Snellinger. I'm a volunteer in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. It started out as a trailblazer where we bike and hike along the towpath trail and along the 100 miles of trails in the park. And we provide assistance to people with directions and first aid if they need it, or if they have trouble with their bike, we can help fix a bike. And it's a lot of fun. It's something I enjoy doing anyhow, and kind of what I have always done in my spare time. And when I retired, then it became something I wanted to spend more time doing. And being in an official capacity with the park enables me to do it in a more robust way. And along the way in doing that, this river patrol started in development with the same kind of mentality. Like if we have people helping on hiking trails and biking trails and even horseback trails, why wouldn't we have helpers along on a river trail? And so I'm a big paddler. I've been paddling the Cuyahoga for, probably 30 years. And the program came up and I thought this is a perfect fit for me. And so I started paddling, and I met Ryan Ainger, who was starting up this program, and it was just even more fun. So now I get to do hiking and biking and paddling. The paddling really hit me in a sweet spot because I've been an advocate for the river my whole life. Now I can do it in a more official capacity, and we have, handouts to give people with maps on them. We celebrated the 50th anniversary of the burning of the river to celebrate how much cleaner it is now. So we can encourage people to be in here, show them how to do it safely. Doing the river is a little more challenging, and so we're here to sort of be a guide for them. And it's just a lot of fun, and I get paid really well.
The next award is for Outstanding Volunteer Service by Youth, and it goes to Virginia Ward from the Blue Ridge Parkway. Virginia has a deep love and respect for the wild places tucked amongst the craggy rock outcroppings of one of America's favorite drives. She's been volunteering in the park for 3 years and helps the park botanist, Chris Ulray, monitor critically imperiled plant communities that are relics of the last ice age. Braving the elements, carrying heavy equipment over rough terrain, and taking copious notes are just a walk in the park for Virginia, who hopes to one day become a botanist with the National Park Service. Her assistance has been a welcome gift to the Rare Plant program at the Parkway, making it possible for the park's sole botanist to complete monitoring work more safely and efficiently. Thank you, Virginia. We are truly grateful for your service.
Hi, my name is Virginia Ward, and I volunteer on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I work with the plant ecologist Chris Ulray, monitoring rare plant species. There's a lot of tough weather. There's off-trail hiking, more like bushwhacking through blackberries. You gotta carry heavy equipment. But I mean, really, there's not a part of this job that makes me not want to do it. 27 flowers. It's really hard to come up with an answer for why I do this, because it's just so rewarding to know that I'm doing something to preserve this ecosystem and all the different habitats and plant species that we have here. I've been interested in plants my whole life, and so it's just really nice to get acclimated into the field that I want to go into.
The next award is for Outstanding Volunteer Service by a group, and it goes to the Channel Islands National Park Native Plant Garden volunteers. These dedicated VIPs maintain the park's native plant and demonstration gardens, as well as the maintained native plant nursery. Their work permits visitors to get a bit of an island experience without having to travel to one of the 5 remote locations. Some of the volunteers also work on the islands maintaining nurseries for native plant propagation. Combined, these volunteers have over 73 years of volunteer service in the garden, with 1,380 hours last year alone. These volunteers have truly made the park a destination spot for gardeners in South California. Thank you, Channel Islands Native Plant Garden volunteers. We are so very grateful for your service.
The Channel Islands National Park Native Plant Garden volunteers are an exceptional group of volunteers who maintain the mainland garden and nursery. In 2019, 15 volunteers contributed over 1,300 hours. Some of these individuals have volunteered for over 10 years for a combined total of 73 years of service in garden. Kelly Green has been the lead volunteer for over 8 years and has transformed the quality of the garden by providing support for exhibits and waysides, as well as the installation of a demonstration garden. Many of these volunteers are University of California Master Gardeners, which requires a vigorous training program and annual continuing education courses. You can find this lively group in the garden every Thursday morning, completing a variety of tasks, including watering, weeding, pruning, and planting. They even built a new shade house and irrigation system for the nursery. These volunteers work hard to create an experience for visitors who may never step foot on an island. The Channel Islands National Park Native Plant Garden is a highlight in the local community, and it is due to the passion and dedication of this tremendous group of volunteers.
The next award is for Outstanding Volunteer Service by a Youth Group, and it goes to the City to Summit program at Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park in Seattle. City to Summit collaborates with youth and their families, as well as community partners, to design inclusive opportunities that build volunteer capacity and develop a sense of belonging in national parks. The program creates personalized volunteer experiences for young people, including youth of color, youth with disabilities, and LGBTQ+ youth. Exceptional accomplishments include the creation of a volunteer program serving underrepresented youth and their families, increased volunteer engagement at local national parks aligning with youth interest, and fostering meaningful connections through welcoming national park experiences. A highlight of these efforts was the program's development of 6 personalized volunteer trips to Mount Rainier National Park and Olympic National Park.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Johnson, and I'm the lead park ranger at Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park in downtown Seattle, and we have so many people to thank for our City to Summit program. This program developed opportunities for youth of color, youth with disabilities, LGBTQ+ youth, and youth that may be experiencing systemic oppressive forces to volunteer and recreate in nearby national parks. This program was made possible with the help of our amazing partners, including Mount Tahoma High School's Deaf T-Birds Club, Outdoor Asian, and Tacoma Urban League's Sisterhood in the City. We'd also like to thank YMCA Bold and Gold, Washington Trails Association, Mount Rainier National Park, Olympic National Park, and the National Park Foundation. Thank you to everyone involved, especially Megan Young, who was the Community Outreach Coordinator for this program.
City to Summit provided safe and comfortable experiences by providing proper gear, transportation, and unique activities for youth to truly express themselves in our shared public lands. These volunteer opportunities included invasive plant species removal, facilitated conversations about diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as beach cleanups. Our 120 participants contributed over 1,400 hours of volunteer work over the course of 6 trips. Next up, I'd love for you to hear from a few of our City to Summit participants.
Hi, I'm Chris with Outdoor Asian. Outdoor Asian is an organization that works to create an inclusive space in the outdoors for Asian Pacific Islanders and other people of color. In 2019, we partnered with Klondike's City to Summit program to plan outings to 2 different national parks in Washington State. I had the pleasure of joining the trip to Mount Rainier, where we learned how to snowshoe in paradise. It was so nice to see families and kids share this experience, one that they may not have had the opportunity to enjoy if not for this program. Thanks, Meg and Kelsey, and keep up the great work.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kirsten Portman. I went to Ruby Beach, and we decided to volunteer cleaning up all the trash. That's already on the beach. You know, those bottles, a bunch of trash that is not supposed to be on the beach. It was horribly fun. I'm glad I did this because it was my first time experiencing it, and it felt really, it hit me really hard knowing the fact we don't want to hurt the animals in the water, so I'm glad I went there.
Thank you, Chris and Kirsten, for sharing your stories. We're really excited about City to Summit moving forward.
Thank you again to everyone involved, including our staff and volunteers at Klondike Seattle, for supporting this program. Because youth not only help steward our national parks, but enrich us and these places with their own stories.
The next award is for outstanding volunteer service by a program, and it goes to the Vicksburg National Military Park VIP program. The park commemorates and interprets the campaign, siege, and defense of Vicksburg, Mississippi during the Civil War. It interprets the history of Vicksburg from 1860 through Reconstruction, and preserves and protects the battlefield, Vicksburg National Cemetery, and related significant resources. The full park experience is made possible through the park's volunteer program, which illustrates the sights and sounds of the Civil War, provides orientation to prospective visitors, and guides visitors safely through recreational activities. In 2019, volunteers also assisted the park team with major activities to include 2 nationwide service days, a 5K run and bike race, a junior ranger camp for young visitors, and numerous cleanups of the Vicksburg National Cemetery, a site which preserves and honors the memory of 17,000 Union Civil War veterans. Throughout the summer, the Living History team demonstrates artillery fires, musket firing, and civil encampments to provide visitors with connections to the Civil War experiences of soldiers and civilians. Additionally, the Park Watch and Interpretation volunteers routinely help visitors explore the park safely. The efforts of these treasured volunteers help the park preserve and interpret the important resources and stories that define it. To the volunteers and park program at Vicksburg National Park, Military Park, thank you for your dedicated service.
Hi there, I'm Ranger Taylor Hegler, Volunteer Coordinator.
And I'm Walt Young, Community Volunteer Ambassador.
And on behalf of Vicksburg National Military Park, we want to express our sincerest thank you for awarding us with the National George Helen Hartzog Award for Outstanding Volunteer Program.
This couldn't have been possible without our amazing Ranger staff, our wonderful Friends group, and our valued volunteers, a few of whom will be telling you why they volunteer here at Vicksburg National Military Park.
Vicksburg National Military Park is a wonderful place to volunteer. You get to meet a lot of nice visitors, the staff. You also get to enjoy this beautiful land, and there's quite a variety of things you can volunteer to do. If you have your own specialty, it would be a good idea to offer your services to the National Military Park.
Probably, but there'll be places like the Illinois Monument. I'll see tourists come in, and you can obviously tell that they're not that familiar with the park. There's so many numerous interesting stories, I just have to stop and tell them something. I cannot run by. The numerous stories associated with the Illinois Monument, Battery de Goyer. One of my favorites is at the Wisconsin Monument, where you have old Abe on the eagle on top of the monument. If you ever have a chance, look that up. That story is just amazing.
I enjoy volunteering at the Vicksburg National Military Park because it gives me the opportunity to meet all different kinds of people and has provided many experiences that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
I love working as a volunteer out of the Vicksburg National Military Park because I love being surrounded by history, and this place is of great historical significance. So not only do I like being out here, but I also like teaching and educating folks about the history of the park and the historical significance thereof.
Since being a volunteer, it has become a home for me. I have gained so many friends, so much new family that, it's just been a wonderful opportunity. I've met other park rangers at other parks, and I encourage anybody who is thinking about doing this to be a volunteer for the National Park Service.
The next award is for Outstanding Enduring Volunteer Service, and it goes to Donald Adam from the National Mall and Memorial Parks. Donald's fierce dedication and loyalty to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial made him one of the park's most consistent volunteers, often arriving early in the morning to ensure a park presence was on site to greet visitors. Over the years, he expanded his volunteer sites to other sites to the park, including the Korean War Veterans Memorial and the World War II Memorial. He is an NPS-trained bike tour guide, has served in almost every capacity during the annual Cherry Blossom Festival, And it was even filmed by the Ken Burns documentary team, sharing stories related to the service members on the wall and his own service, both in Vietnam during the war and at the memorial. It doesn't matter what the weather is, as long as he can physically get there. Don will be at the apex of the wall, helping visitors better understand the importance and meaning of the memorial. Don, thank you for your enduring service to our nation throughout the years.
Hello, I'm Donald Saunders Adam, a longtime volunteer in the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Volunteering on the National Mall, or America's Front Yard, offers several unique and exciting opportunities. You can usually find me on the mall many weekdays at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, or as we call it, the Wall, the Korean War Veterans Memorial, the World War II Memorial, or at one of our newer venues, the Lockkeeper's House. I also actively participate at the National Park Service Cherry Blossom Festival Information Tent. I was one of the original cadre of mall volunteers participating in Amtrak's Trails to Rails program running between Washington, D.C. and New York. Volunteering allows me to increase my knowledge, education, and enhances my personal growth. As a Vietnam vet, I am passionate about the Wall and my activities there, where they're assisting park rangers, park guides, maintenance staff, fellow volunteers, fellow veterans, or tour guides in order to ensure an educational and a positive visitor experience. I have given bike tours, walking tours, presentations, and programs to school groups, veterans groups, and interested visitors. I also distribute maps and answer general park questions during big events. For the past several years, I have helped administratively by preparing parking permits for all park personnel. I have now logged approximately 20,000 hours on the mall over the past 2 decades. Besides wanting to give back to the community, I get my volunteer inspiration from my family, especially my cousin, Michael Gordon Tandy, who served in the Marine Corps and was killed in Vietnam. His father, Gordon Dell Tandy, who served in the Marine Corps during World War II in Korea, and my uncle Thomas Williams Adam, who spent several years in the Navy, along with the many friends I served with during my almost 4 years in the Air Force. It is a privilege and honor to receive this award. I accept this award not only for myself, but for the other unselfish people who volunteer with the National Park Service. Thank you.
I again want to share heartfelt praise to all of the recipients of the 2019 Hartzog Awards for outstanding volunteer service.
Thanks so much, David. And I want to again thank our 2019 awardees who have made invaluable contributions to our national parks and to the experiences enjoyed by so many park visitors. Your service inspires us all to think more broadly about how to build a larger community of national park champions, a community engaged to connect more people to parks through active stewardship to protect these shared places and treasured heritage. From recruiting volunteers, fixing what's broken, and enhancing visitor experience, you represent the best of the National Park Service. Your devotion, innovation, and care ensure that children, families, and friends who come to parks find adventure and make memories that last a lifetime. Congratulations on all your achievements. Be safe, stay healthy, and thank you again for joining us today.